two British nationals, Misa Jordan Alexander Katendra and Ayadipe Andrew Adejuwan, as well as two Nigerians, Shonawo Oluwaseun Imole and Ofo Malami, and Nigeria, 90.10 kilograms, through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, MMIA, Ikeja, Lagos. Alexander was intercepted with the consignment upon his arrival at the MMIA. Passed through the security control unhindered and closely monitored by NDLEA operatives to the car park, where the owner of the cargo, Ayodipe Andrew Adejuwan, who is a Nigerian British, was waiting in an SUV along with his relation, Shonawo Oluwaseun Imole, and the driver of the vehicle, Ofuoma Omakaro Ayodami, to receive the courier. The NDLEA operatives tracking them, however, swooped on them as they attempted to drive out of the airport's car park, arresting them with the drug exhibits in the vehicle. In his statement, Alexander confessed he was recruited during his vacation weeks ago while he was promised 1,300 British pounds after a successful delivery of the consignment in Lagos. The arrowhead of the syndicate, Ayodipe Andrew Adejuwan, confessed that he arrived in Nigeria a day earlier from South Africa through Ghana. A follow-up operation at their apartment in Lekki led to more discoveries. At the point of his arrest, 93,000 naira and 17,200 South African rand were recovered from him, while a search of his Lekki apartment led to the seizure of 3,810,500 naira cash, an Apple laptop, an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and four laughing gas nitro oxide canisters. A total of 75,000 kilograms of skunk were destroyed on 30 hectares of cannabis farms by NDLVA operatives at Esuk Odot village in Odupani local government area, Cross River State, where 200 kilograms of the same substance was recovered on Wednesday, 22nd May, while 1,957.5 kilograms of the same psychoactive plant was destroyed at Ohosu Forest, Obia Southwest local government area, and Ohuse Community Forest, Owan West local government area, Edo State, on Friday 23rd and Saturday 24th May. In Nasarawa State, two suspects, Sunday Daniel and Abu Peter, were arrested at Kefi by NDLVA operatives on Saturday 24th May when 4,000 kilograms of skunk That's how the lecture focused on the building decision making. The Anambra State Command and the student and staff of Araba Secondary School, Onitsha, give a sensitization lecture designed to enhance resistance to peer pressure and foster a culture of discipline. Similarly, the command organized a rather enlightening lecture at Government Secondary School, Guyuk, addressing the health, psychological, and academic effects of drug abuse. In like manner, the Akwa Ibom State Command delivered a sensitization lecture as part of the WADA initiative to students and staff of Lay Hali Secondary School, Oran, emphasizing the importance of making healthy life choices while being active participants in the anti-drug campaign, both in and outside their school. On Thursday, 22nd May, the Enugu State Command of MDLA continued the sensitization community with the manage to resist drug use and promoting awareness of its long-term consequences. Similarly, the Kano State Command took the wider message to government girls Islamic secondary school.
um, we invite you to be on the speaker's corner. Please ensure that you remain muted until after the presentation by our guest, and then we'll start inviting individuals to unmute themselves, ask their questions, or make their contributions. We do this so that the conversation can be orderly and then so that we can enjoy and hear. Let's quickly remind you also about the NDL, how to assess support or how to find help. And of those that may be afraid of being judged or being stigmatized, and so they remain with their issues, and then they're not getting the needed help. Or that's the NDL Center. It's a bridge to bring the needed support to those who really need treatment or who need a direction on how to assess treatment. For you to access the call center, all you need to do is call our toll-free helpline. It's not really a number to call again. Perhaps you are struggling with the issues of drugs, you struggling with drugs, or you have a family member who has this problem. All you need to do is to call our toll-free helpline. That is 0800 10203040, and then you have our experts on the other side of the line ready to assist and help you provide social support services and more. Psychologists with a strong background in psychological assessment, counseling, and mental health advocacy. With a master's degree in clinical psychology from the University of Lagos, a member of the Nigerian Association of Psychologists, a member of International Society of Social Use Professionals, as ISOP Nigeria, and extensive experience in hospital, school, and corporate.
Thank you. The cognitive or the cognitive development of our youth or adolescents, the effects on their emotional well-being and academic performance and social relationship. The transition from childhood to adulthood is quite a critical period for an individual marked by physical health. Drugs like cocaine and the others, and medications like tramadol, which can lead to various health and social consequences. Different environmental substances that are pushing access behavioral changes caused by their improved use. These improved use of the effect certain uh, mm, written and based adolescent industry sustainability. This is something that we can do. properties that your brain is meant to develop. So the substances mimic them, they imitate them, and then block the natural response or reduces the impact of the natural response of the brain to create such high that they are looking for. So therefore, once it is tasted, once it is tasted, the individual becomes and the child knows it, the individual knows it. Addiction begins to be formed. The brain now begins to demand for more than what is supposed to naturally have or take in or produce. So with the substance, unfortunately, when because they are not aware of such effect of the substance and its effect on the brain, issue that causes yes, cultural influence has also exposed our teenagers and adolescents. They can't get to a place where this substance because they are looking for the high. That can engage this. So it plays advantageous in school. leading to higher dropout rates in our secondary schools. So the next implication of this is also addiction and future dependency. Early exposure of adolescents to substances significantly increases the likelihood of addiction by the time they become adults. Yes, everybody is not the same. There are some teenagers that they started young, they didn't see any effects. But after a time, continuous use, that they fall into dependency and addiction, it becomes too late. They can't go back. And even when they want to stop, the withdrawal symptoms they experience is, is so unpleasurable that they don't want to encounter it again. So they end up falling back into the use of these substances. So the likelihood of addiction again becomes so strong in their life. That's what and also the period of engaging training activities. Some properties and then when they're engaged, they end up being arrested. Violence. as a community, as a school, for everyone involved. So we will look at prevention and treatment innovations. We would like to see monitoring has been discovered. Research has discovered that this is initiation by 40%. Um, substance abuse. So, lifestyle streaming is really encouraged for its people in charity, in schools, in the environment. In this making passion, positive relationships. This last question also helps. and lovingly monitor their children's activities, the risk factors are really reduced. They lose their children, their adolescents, their teenagers to these substances because of these various distractions, responsibility, roles that prevent you to perform best in academics. I know you're not better. I know you can do better. I know you can do better. They should not make that pressure. It's so much on them. Um, Counsel them, then they will fall into the wrong influence and the wrong hands. So as schools, I will implore and encourage that we work on our counseling methods with our students that are struggling in their academics in school. Let's take note of them, let's pay attention to them, and let's help them. Let's give them a helping hand. We are there for them as well as teachers in the schools and every counselor in schools. I implore that. And also communities, they should also develop counseling centers where they can give counseling services in their adolescents in the community. The communities can collaborate with the mental health services like NDLEA now. They can collaborate with them that we need some of your officers, maybe they come around, counsel our youths on a certain day. We can talk to them, create awareness program for them, and we make it fun for them, make them feel belong, make them feel loved, that yes, we know, we see you, we hear you, and we are here for you. So communities should also create mental health support for their teenagers in their communities. And then there's also the peer education and mentorship. There was a time when I was young, I heard of YMCA. I don't know if it still exists, where the youths always gather, we have fun, we play, we share inspiring stories, a picnic, there's a reading club, they play football, basketball. There's this mentorship program that goes on there where youths go there to read. It was a very fun activity program, mentorship program that goes on in the YMCA then in the weekends and even during the public holidays where they gather, they do competitions. It was a very fun activity. Something like that should be encouraged in schools, faith-based organizations, both Muslim, both Christian, or even the other worshippers. These things are to help to effectively spread awareness on substance use and its consequences in their lives. And when this is preached more often, maybe even those that are into the business of selling this, when they don't see buyers, they will give up on the business. So this will also be a good way to help to help our children from not falling into substance abuse. Then policy and enforcement, strict regulations on the sale of alcohol and tobacco to minors, along with school policies against drug use, can also deter access. Not only schools, communities. If communities, our ballets, our um, influencers in the communities, if they can also help in enforcing policies that discourages substance abuse, it will help to enforce these regulations that are being put in place by policymakers and law enforcement like the NDLEA. It will really go a long way to help our teenagers. And then there is also our services, psychological area in cognitive behavioral therapy, where we provide access to adolescents in offering therapy sessions, addressing emotional distress, like those who are in experiencing mental health disorders like depression, anxiety disorder, or panic disorder, maladaptive behaviors. We as clinical psychologists can provide counseling services or cognitive behavioral therapy to them. Then also media and social responsibility. We need to advocate for responsible media portrayals of substance use in our movies, in our music, and help educate adolescents to help them discerning harmful influences of these substances. Identifying at-risk students early and providing them with access to rehabilitation programs, those that are already into it, we should know immediately and then put them into rehabilitation programs so that we can help prevent long-term addictions in their lives. So this is where I will stop. Thank you very much. Any questions and contributions?
All right. Thank you very much there, Mrs. Adeyinka Ogure. That brilliant. Once again, Mrs. Mental focus. She's been speaking with us over the past join us via our YouTube X. We'd like to appreciate all of our compatriots that every part of the world. We'd like to appreciate Dr. Abdullah. Dr. Abdullah is a consultant psychiatrist at the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital. Thank you very much, Dr. Abdullah, for your presence always. We also appreciate Mr. Olubenga Agai. Thank you very much for being part of our conversation today. Victoria Osheshi, thank you very much for being part of our conversation today. Funsho Jim Leke Ogunremi, I guess there's a connection there, but I'll keep quiet. Thank you very much, Mr. Leke Ogunremi. Soil Whisper Nigeria, always constant. Dr. West, thank you very much, Dr. Aled West. Folari DS, thank you for being part of our conversation today. We have Fumi, we have Engineer Sani Aminu, Dr. Mba Ogele Oyekwere, thank you very much, Dr. Oyekwere. We also have Prince Isaac, Mrs. Maria Lubuhi, thank you very much for your support and resilience and all that you do to support this whole effort. Thank you very much. I get all the messages. Dr. James Komalafe, thank you. That's Dr. Onyekere's partner there. We also have Stock Bubbles NG. Thank you. Obodo Mary A. Thank you. Isa Yakini. Thank you. Dr. Benga and Doc. We have one pen. That's Ahmad Folio. We have Dr. O at Black B. Thank you. Dennis, thank you. Eso Emmanuel, thank you. Mai, JJ Salami, Winnie Mayawa at Abidax, thank you. Deity, Pascal Ewegbu, Mia, thank you. Yeah, Beji there. Asma Ahmad, thank you, Asma. Gaba Nura, thank you, Suleiman. Tafida Overmas, Eddie Salau, that's Dr. Eddie Salau, thank you. Josephine Lope, thank you. Uzoma Linus, thank you. We'll continue to acknowledge and recognize go on, but for now, let's pause and engage in the conversation. For those that may want to make contributions or ask questions, is the time for you to request for the mic. When we approve your request, please stay muted until we invite you to make your contribution. Please let's ensure that when you are approved, let's remain muted until after we have you.
Hello, good evening, all of you. My name is Abubakar Ahmad from Kazakhstan. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Abubakar, we're hearing you.
The kind of advice that I'm going to contribute here is that that matter based on the substance abuse among schooling adolescents. So the issue, the implication are what I view. So when you now, what I want to suggest is government situation. Uh, there are some body that are capable of this. These bodies are religious bodies, that is religious group. Then the parents bear responsibility of controlling their own children. Parents has to know the kind of company their children are keeping with. They have to know the kind of people they are keeping a company with, whether their friends are good ones or bad ones. Then secondly, the religious leaders, pastors and imams has the key role of taking. Teachers has a lot of work at their hand. What I mean here is that they have to provide an assistance by telling the student that they should go away from drugs, as drugs has very dangerous to the brains, because whenever teaching him at the class, and he and
kaki mungu gaga. City fool, onyara. David James, David. Naibo and Codin, Nati Bobo. City fool, onyara. Imama Wanamo. She don't wanna me say he go beat us, and not the only thing when they make me high. And when he high, he dey do I'm like he crocodile. And he go say I am feeling like to run. And when he run, that's when them go they talk. And when he shell it, I feel go say, in mama wanna move. In papa wanna move. I already bought my suit. The honeymoon for before Takwabi. But you know, yeah, in mama wanna move. Like a custard. If I'm happy, you want mad. Stop trying before you do me so sad. When it starts, he go do you like a crocodile. And you go say, I am feeling like to run. And when you run, that's when them go they talk. And when he shell it, I bet let go say, in my mama wanna move.
Well, it's something beyond our control at this end. It's about our service providers, but then we're back. Thank you very much. We appreciate all of those that have joined us back. That's at the peak of that conversation there, but then we'll thank God that Abubakar Ahmad was able to land and were able to respond to that. We appreciate Abubakar Ahmad once again for his brilliant contribution. Okay, let's quickly take the next intervention from Dr. James Komalafe. Dr. James Komalafe, please go ahead. Let's hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for today, Mr. Femi Babafemi, and the host of other colleagues and senior colleagues in the house. And no little time Adeyinka Ogunremi for this position today. The area I just want to include as a necessity is the fact that whatever you accommodate accumulates over time. And if our youth and adolescents, we understand that message and sink it in, then they will be wary of whatever they accommodate. Because over time, whether in the good order, definition, bad order, violation, and the ugly order, deviation, is going to play back in whether they like it or not. So, track the root of bad habits to addiction is not essentially a funny game. Though it starts with fun, but eventually it leads to frustration, which no matter what they will want to just do as a quick fix may not get to work. And that's why on very many occasions, even such withdrawal symptom, as soon as they manifest, becomes a double tragedy to them because it begins to fight them internally just for the consequence to say, oh, this thing I don't want to do. So usually we tell people in therapy, drug addiction is you start it as a game, but it ends you in war. So very vital as they begin the journey through bad habits. It will certainly, if not tracked through CBT, like she said, it will end in a destination called addiction. And so the deviation gap begins to widen, to create an unwritten gap between the original person and the violated person. And as we know, there is no vacuum in space that will not be filled by something, whether good, bad, and ugly. So what do we advise? We need to make our adolescents know as critical stakeholders the fact that the journey into addiction will cause crisis for them, whether from the home front, institutional front, at school. You know, once it climaxes into addiction, the fight of addictive behavior on the inside begins to work. What is it? Inner conversation begins. Number two, followed by contemplations. Do I do this? Do I not do that? And all of that. And before you know it, number three, imaginations will start building up. That's where they begin to develop another ecosystem within that is completely different from what lifestyle protocol they have been used to. And then number four, it becomes domination. And from domination, it begins to issue, number five, instructions that they just must carry out, whether they like it or not. And that on a very violent note. So what are we saying? Like Dr. Adeyinka said, we are routing some of these variables, and we have developed a strategy to be able to outreach the schools. And I think NDLEA will do it better through the recruitment of core members. When they are trained to deploy expertise, they will go under the guise and the Ministry of Restoration Managers. We may not call them restoration managers because students could be averse to such names. And that's why even when NDLEA staff will go in there, I think corpers will do better when we train them what to do and how to do it. And we label them as productivity managers. Even when they are coming from NDLEA, they will be easily received than to just hear NDLEA is coming. They could be frightened to even want to shy away to say, they are looking for people to arrest. How can I tell them the whole truth about what I am going through as far as drug addiction and substance abuse is concerned? So a whole of this issue are playing out, for which we know a concerted effort, those as we are doing here, will create a spiral effect that will not only reduce drug addiction, but eliminate it completely over time. This is just my little contribution. Thank you, Atio Guremi, for your share.
All right, thank you very much, dear Dr. James Komolafe. Dr. James Komolafe always coming with fresh insights into the conversation. Okay, let's have our guest speaker. Would you want to speak to what the last two speakers have said so that you can take them together, take your response together on their own intervention? Please go ahead, Mrs. Adeyinka.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My first brother, Dr. Abdul, and to my erudite professor, Dr. James Akomolafe. Yes, I really appreciate your contributions to the to what I've said. I really appreciate it. Yes, everyone is involved. Everyone is to be involved. Right from the individual itself, the person we are looking out for, the adolescents, and even every other individual, whether adolescent or not. and the family itself, and the community. The community is made up of both the schools and the faith-based institution and every other institution that exists. They are all the makeup of the community, and we all have to come together, work together, and ensure the future of our generation, the future of our Nigerian youth. Addressing substance abuse is no small feat. NDLEA cannot be the only body that can fit into this. They can collaborate with other bodies, federal bodies, or even NGOs to make this work, to make this effective, to make to create an octopus tentacle outreach. It could be at once, it could be one at a time, but as long as there's consistency in reaching out, creating awareness, engaging in preventive tactics, evidence-based preventive tactics, then it can be ascertained that substance abuse will reduce, and hopefully, it will be eradicated. But the reduce is our first goal. The reduce is our first goal, and the enforcement of policies, like Mr. Abdul said, policies that will make the business of substances not lucrative for people who are engaged in it. Like, for instance, now, the substance of alcohol, if we have to question each and every one of us in this business, is it legal or illegal? We all know it is legal. But the availability and accessibility of it to these adolescents and the effect it has on them needs to be handled very strongly. Because a lot of businesses are making money from alcohol. So policies are to be ensured to help prevent our teenagers, our children from having access to these things, and strong actions taken against those who are meant to ensure that these policies are followed through, are to be followed through. So I really agree with my contributors with what they have said, and hopefully we'll be able to work together individually and as a community to help our adolescents and the future of Nigeria to be great, to make great decisions. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Oguremi, for your contribution there. Okay, let's quickly slip into our DM to take some questions there. Let's take this one from Janet. Janet is actually asking 2 questions. Okay, I'll read it too. So please note, Mrs. Oguremi. Janet said, brilliant presentation by Dr. Denyika there. Kudos to her. I enjoy every bit of her presentation. All right. While Mr. Babafemi was introducing her, you did say that she was a school counselor. So I would like to ask, what role should schools play in prevention and early detection? Having been a school counselor before, she would be in a good position to give some great deep insights into this. My second question is back home now, away from the school environment, how can parents and guardians recognize and address potential substance abuse in their children? Those are the 2 questions from Janet. Thank you very much, Janet. Now I'll pass the mic to Mrs. Oguremi to respond to your 2 questions. Please go ahead, Mrs. Oguremi.
Okay, so as a school psychologist where I worked, we created a curriculum of where we talk about issues that enforces students to engage in substance use. And the critical issue was self-esteem and academic performance, the pressure of academic performance. The first thing that was done was I trained the teachers to understand the effects of academic pressure on students, especially those who are having learning disabilities or they are slow learners, how to recognize them, then what to do to engage them so that they won't feel so much of the pressure, and then because of that pressure they engage in activities that are unsavory like substance use. So we make them to recognize such students, and then we do talks on emotional resilience with students, and then building their self-esteem. We speak about what's how to we help them to understand their what and what defines their what, that it is up to them to make the right decision, and that decision affects not only them, but it plays a ripple effect in which it waits for them in the future and congratulates them or defeats them depending on the decision they make. So all this curriculum we engage in with our students in school, and also engage in training the teachers to recognize some certain difficulties that some of their students are engaging in, that are encountering, and then they engage them in activities to help build their confidence in these academic areas where they are having challenges. And so that's what we do. Now, for identifying if their children are engaging in substance use, like Dr. Kamala first said, and also Dr. Ado said, it's a matter of we as parents opening communication with them and recognizing the kind of friends they move in. And also, they should not close their eyes to what is going on in their environment. They should not be ignorant of what is going on social media, because this is where most of these children are hiding into now. It is where they are copying lifestyles from now. So I would advise parents to leave an open communication with their children. You see something going on in your environment, you call their attention to it. I saw this. What do you think? Mommy, I don't know. Really? Some may pretend at first, but as long as the communication is open, you talk about it, you tell them the influence about it, parents reading up on it, becoming more aware about it, and then discussing it with their children in a way that makes them open up to them. I can't say this is how your child will be, because not one way fits all. Because every personality is different. Everyone has different identities. So I would prefer that we pay close attention, create an atmosphere of open communication, create time as parents with your children. And with this, you'll be able to notice details, something that is off. You question it, not attacking them, because if you attack them, they'll go into defense. Bring it out in a discussion manner. Bring it up in a discussion manner. I saw this happen. I was wondering why you acted like that. You acted like that. Is everything all right? Everything all right? Come on, calm down. Come on. You know, I'm your parent. You don't need to. I would not kill you or bring you down or break you up for it. I just need to know because I want to help you. Because I know that you speak words that are formative to them. If they don't open to you at that moment, later they'll open, because you keep seeking words of affirmation to them. because a point in time they will come guilty and they will open up to you. I'm struggling in this area. I'm having issues in this area. I was afraid to tell you because I was afraid you will condemn me. You will shut me down. You will not. You will tell me that I'm being. You will so when we as parents remove that from our communication, your children will open up like a flower, and then you'll be able to water them and create sunlight and protection for them where needed, when necessary. So also check their friends, check the people they live with at home, in church, at the mosque, in their school. Check it. Be open to it, see it. Whatever friends they have, question them, discuss with them, know what they have, who they are, the kind of family they also come from, because there are some children who are coming from dysfunctional families who are encountering maybe substance abuse, and they are trying to cope outside of their families through the friendship they are having with your child. So speak to them too. Be also like a mentor to them in case of any of them, or find any of them having such a dysfunction in their home and family, making a positive impact also in their life. So the main thing is having a positive, open and loving communication. Okay? Don't be too hard, too strict that they will not open up to you, even their friends. So that is what I would say to that question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Hello? Hello?
acute enough to identify and manage substance-related issues in students, because some of them will rather be bullies than a support system to students fighting hidden struggles. All right, thank you very much, Victoria. Ms. Adenika, I believe you can speak to that. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't hear clearly. There was a break in the
Okay. Okay, let me read that. Coming from Victoria, she they say thank you for bringing your experience to bear on your presentation and responses. I appreciate you. Uh, Now, my question is I would still like to draw from your schoolwork experience. Would you say teachers are equipped enough to identify and manage substance related issues in students? Because some of them will rather be bullies than a support systems to students fighting hidden struggles. Do you get that, Ms.
Okay,
Adeyinka?
I guess she means that some of those teachers would rather be bullies to students that are struggling.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Um, well, I would say teachers should be well should engage in trainings and workshops to help with that. Um, I would like schools, if they can afford it, to engage their teachers in training for issues such as this. We could invite our governing body here, the NDLEA, to do workshops and trainings. We could invite bodies like the Shelter Youth and Community Network to also train these teachers, because in truth, training is the most important aspect for these teachers, because that is what I went through in my school that I worked in. I really had to help them and train them. And it so happens to be, even during the training, I got to find out that even some of the teachers, they have their own personal issues, which has become a passive aggression towards the students. Some of the students' issues remind them of their own past issues that they've not dealt with. Some of the students they encounter reminds them of the struggles they're also having at home with their own children. So I would prefer that if schools can afford it, they can send their teachers for training or invite um, bodies to train their teachers, work for to help to identify how to identify the students, how to engage the students, and also help them to become more impactful in the lives of the students. So it won't be just the work of the counselors, because the counselors cannot handle all the students in that school at a time or at a go. But with time, the impact is being made with the few that are able to listen. But once the teacher and the counselor are working hand in hand, the work will go a long way to help the students that are facing challenges in their academics. So our advice, they invite educational psychologists, clinical psychologists, counselors from various organizations, and the trainings to be involved with our teachers to help them, to equip them. And from there, they can even experience their own healing. And from their own healing, that's what the teachers, I mean, they can also impart their students instead of bullying them, because in every way anyone who is bullying anybody is actually suffering from a certain issue, a certain insecurity. So with that, when the training comes in, and even in that training they experience their own healing, I'm sure they will be able to have their own, they will be able to have a great impact on those students who are struggling academically instead of bullying them. And this will also help prevent these students also from engaging in substance use. So that would be my take on that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, there, Mrs. Guremi. Okay, we have barely 15 minutes to go to hit the hour. Okay, quickly, let's say we have quite a lot streaming in our DM. Let's take this one from Oyeladun. Oyeladun, okay, commending Ms. Oguremi, and then should schools prioritize punitive measures or supportive interventions for students struggling with substance abuse? Because I believe there has to be a balance. Okay, that's Oyeladun's opinion and question. Okay, please go ahead, Ms. Ogunremi.
Of course, there should be a balance because as much as we are doing prevention, training our teachers, we also have to, the ones that are also into it, we also have to recognize them. And we, as teachers or counselors, will motivate them. We motivate them to stop such substance use. So it will be advised, since the school is not trained for that, to be advised to refer them and their families for toxic toxic tests, and also for rehabilitation, and also to uh, engage them in psychotherapy for healing. So everything is not actually on the school. So for any students that are being discovered to have them to engage in such, they can be referred. But the main work with the schools, as much as it goes, is with the prevention, is with the prevention aspects. And with that, when that is being sunk into the minds of the children, they too will carry your message across everywhere amongst themselves. It will be discussed. It will be something that they will charge themselves with to go on forward with, even from outside the school to wherever they stay and whatever community they find themselves. So that will be my answer. I hope I've answered your question.
All right, thank you. I believe Victoria should be good with that. Okay, I'm trying to run as fast as I can so that we can take as many questions as possible. Excuse me. All right, let's take this one from Oliver. Oliver. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Oguremi, for your presentation. I would like to ask, should, should parents be held accountable for their children's substance use issues, or is it a societal issue requiring broader support? All right, thank you, Oliver. Please, over to you, Ms. Adinka.
Everyone is accountable, but the great accountability comes from those that are closer to the individual. Could be the caregiver, it could be the parents themselves, because they are the ones that are meant to keep eyes on them. But once everyone is involved, once everyone is involved, if it escapes the parents, it will get to the school. If it escapes the school, it will get to the society. Because once those blockades are placed in all these core aspects of an individual's life, because it takes a village to raise, it actually takes a village to raise a child, not just a parent. Once all these are blocked, then the child has no way of escape. The child will be saved. So it's not the matter of putting a blame game that is meant to be your role alone. No, it's everybody. Education, family, faith-based, society, community, policy, government, everybody will put their hands together in this and make it work. The stronger it is in the family, the stronger it gets to the school, the stronger it gets to society. We should not leave it out for one person alone. We should not leave it out for one person alone. What if the child is an orphan and then the family of the child, maybe the extended family, are not ready to take on the responsibility of the child, and it becomes a child that is put in a social welfare, and the child is a government child. Since so many in the hands of the government, who will look after the child? Everybody mind their own business. No, 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 no. It shouldn't be a one person thing, issue. It's everybody that is meant to be involved. It's a multifaceted intervention that we should engage in here. We should not leave it to one body, one person. Education, a family, education, community, policy enforcers, and the support services. Everyone should be involved. This will help to engage our children, and also strengthen the greatness that we are safeguarding for them and our future. So that is my answer to that.
All right, thank you very much there. For those sending in messages that have not read your questions, please note that we're skipping some questions because they appear like issues that have been treated either in her presentation or in her response to some other questions. So that's why we're skipping some questions so that we can cover as much ground as possible. So it's not as if we're snubbing you or ignoring you. No, indeed, we're just trying to manage our time as best as we can. All right, let's take this one from Moyo. Okay, Moyo is asking, what kinds of therapy or counseling approaches did you find most effective for young adolescents or students while you were in that environment? And how do you also think schools can create safer environments to reduce drug exposure among students? Thank you very much. All right, thank you, Moyo there. Please, over to you, Ms. Adenka. Mr. Adenka, you are muted, so you have to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. Well, the therapies that I actually engaged in with my students there was mostly like motivational interviewing, where I use empathetic listening and guided questioning to help strengthen um, some of my students who happen to have tasted it. We send them for toxicology, and we invite their parents. We discuss the issues that surround um, the child engaging in or being initiated into the substance use. And with that, we made the parents to be committed in open communication, open up about it. So with time, um, I taught the students coping strategies to help manage any stress or triggers that may want him to uh, engage in such substance use. And I introduced something we call mindfulness, where they have to relax their anxiety. They calm the anxiety that they're experiencing at the time. We make them to be aware of the situation. Yes, this is what is happening, but it should not be enough for you to be scared of it. It is a problem, yes, but can it be solved? Research on this topic to help me build confidence. Maybe it is mathematics, maybe it is civic. There are some roles that I need to play in reading this, reading habits are formed. We engage in all this motivational interview, we do cognitive behavioral therapy with the students. That was when I was working as a school psychologist. So engaging in this helps anyone who could have been initiated has tasted it. And then we also help to bring about the life training skills of assertiveness. Once you see something that you know is not good, you've been told is not good, and you've been introduced to it, there's a way you say no. You stand on it. You don't need to please people. You don't need to engage in it to fit into it. That's where we teach in teaching our students about um, assertiveness and also emotional resilience in this area. So it will help them to be comfortable with their decision. To be comfortable with their decision. It's not about pleasing those they want to fit in. It's about being comfortable with a decision that they know will help them to become better, to separate them from what they feel they should belong, what they feel that they should belong to. So we help them to understand that you don't have to follow through this to become this. Once you stand on this and you are able to say no, and you feel good about it, you need to feel good about it, about standing your ground and knowing that, no, I am not moved to take this. I don't need it. I know why I don't need it. Then with that training, our students are able to um, work on it. And then with that, helping them with that, they build their resilience, and then they work in the part of not falling into substance use. So that's what I engaged in. Thank you very much.
All right, let's quickly take our last contributor on this conversation today, and that will come from Sir Gaga Ego One. Please quickly unmute yourself and let's take your contribution or question in just 30 seconds. Thank you.
Oh, I never knew the thing was going on like this. Well, good evening and well done. I wanted to ask the lady that just finished speaking. I wanted to ask, do you think this uh, solution you just made, do you think is the right way to go about it? Because a lot of youths today, which I see on the street and schools today, that are being influenced by friends. They want to belong. And I don't think the solution you just gave is going to work out. I don't think so, because even when they get close to their friends, they're easily being influenced with this kind of drug abuse and whatever in school, even outside school, because most of the time you see most of these young men or young youths today who are being involved in drug abuse in school and outside school. It's not because they want to take it, it's just because their friends are heavily being influence them into this situation. And it's eating the society deeply. It's eating the society deeply, especially the secondary school today. So I think the solution we are giving, it might work, but I don't think that's the right solution. So I think they should be that solution coming up for this kind of thing, because most of the youth I see today, most of the youth I have engaged today, you can't even talk to them, because most of the time you comes out from their mouth, my, my dear, it's not how we say it. I think the federal government should have to come up with a law in schools, especially in schools. So I think that's one of the things, because if we continue like this, most of the solution we give on social media. So yeah, there's another thing I wanted to do. I want to ask to give a sensitization, serious sensitization on the social media media. Because I think most people don't watch TV these days. So I think if they're going to come up with a solution, they should be able to educate this youth on social media because that is where they. Oh, that's my solution. Good evening, everybody.
Sorry, I can't hear him again.